able to hear me okay, go ahead and say yes, I can hear you in the questions box below. Sylvia Amaya will be answering your questions throughout the presentation. Everyone will be on mute, but this is just so that we can continue at a good pace and get you guys out of here rather quickly. We do have a lot of information to cover. What I'm basically going to do is go over the items that are going to be the changes. Those are going to be the ones that I spend a little bit more detail on. Things that are staying the same, I'm going to kind of summarize and skip over them slightly. So if we get to the 3-hour and 45-minute mark and you haven't, and we're only at the beginning and still talking about medical, that's okay. I think that's where most of the changes are going to be, and the rest of the presentation will go fairly quickly as we continue through there. So, Sylvia, are we good? Are people hearing me okay? Yes? Okay, good. All right, excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Again, we have a lot of information. As you look through the presentation, I want you to keep in mind that a lot of the information we're going to cover in this presentation, this will be converted to a brain shark video, which will be used for new hires moving forward. That will allow us to take some of that information, some of that workload off your plate, and allow us to give monthly benefits information to the new hires. We will be doing that in English and Spanish on a monthly basis in 2017. So as you look at this information, again, some of this information will be a little bit more than you will need at your level, but as you look at the information, if you see anything that should be added, needs clarification, or we need to be going into more detail on, or is missing or is incorrect, please let us know and we will be sure to update that information for that Brain Shark video moving forward. This is our agenda today. As you see, one of our new items is going to be voluntary benefits provided by Cigna, and these items are going to be what we're going to cover in the order we will be covering them. So as you all know, one of the biggest challenges that we have is being able to communicate with our employees. We don't have the correct phone numbers. We don't have the correct email addresses. So we are starting a communication campaign in order to obtain that information from the employees. So you will see these posters, and this is almost finalized, but you'll see a poster similar to this going out to the locations, and employees will have 2 different options on completing the enrollment form. They can use their smartphone. They can use a QR code, which is an app, to scan the one of 2 different QR codes on the poster directly. There is a form-only QR code, which will take them directly to the form, and then there is a guided video form, which will allow them to have a walkthrough through what the form will be asking for. So the reason we're doing this is for a couple of things. We want to have the correct information on file when it comes to any type of emergency, if we need to get in touch with your dependent or beneficiary. And we also want to be able to send out benefits updates. And if we don't have the correct information, it's going to be difficult to communicate effectively with the employees, and also any type of company announcements that would need to be going in a large scale. So I'm going to pause a second on the slide just so that you see the open enrollment dates. They are October 31st, 2016 through Sunday, November 13th through 2016. So open enrollment is going to end on a Sunday, so we want as many people as possible to enroll through Friday, November 11th, so that they have access to call into and talk to somebody, have your resources available in case they get stuck or anything like that. So as much as possible, even though open enrollment is going through the weekend, if we can get them through November 11th, that would be very helpful for everyone. You should have by now started receiving marketing pieces for open enrollment. There should have been posters and table tents sent to your locations. If you have not received these, please email me ASAP. We will be sending the benefit guides to the locations that are on that list. So if your address is incorrect, you recently moved, or anything like that, we will need that. Employees should have also started receiving postcards announcing that open enrollment is coming. They will receive a second postcard once open enrollment begins, announcing that open enrollment has begun, where to go to complete their enrollment, and things like that. This year, we are going to have 3 different methods that a good chunk of the population will be able to enroll this year. Everyone will have at least 2 of these methods. Our philosophy and our purpose this year is to make it as easy and as paperless as possible for everyone out there. We know you have a lot of things to do. So the first option where employees are going to be able to enroll is through bmcemployeebenefits.com. This is going to be the new website where employees can get all of the information on the benefits. They will also have a link there where they will be able to enroll. So I can show you this real quick, what it looks like. So when employees log in or they get to the website, this is what it will look like. It will tell them how to enroll. It will allow them to enroll here. This website will be ready in the next couple of days for employees to actually start electing the benefits. But if you had used the BMC Benefits 2016 in 2016, you'll see that a lot of the flow of the website is very similar. It's going to feel and look kind of exactly how you're used to, so that should be about the same there. The second way to enroll this year is going to be through a call center. So we're going to have benefits counselors available in English and in Spanish that will be able to answer questions for employees. The 800 number is here. It's also included on all of the communication materials for open enrollment. So that is going to be the benefit booklets, the postcards, the table tents, the posters that are at the location. So everyone should see this information all the time, and it shouldn't be any problem for them to find this information. The call centers are going to be open from 9 a.m. Eastern Time to 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and again, that information is on some of those postcards. I'm sorry, on all of those communication materials. If you have a larger location, we've already identified you, and we've already contacted you about having on-site enrollers come out to your location. Some of those locations are Texas, Las Vegas, and California. We will have a separate meeting on Friday to go over what that's going to look and feel like on the day of the enrollment. So please keep an eye out for an email coming out to you on that. So one of the methods that we're going to use for communicating with employees is through the Mobile Health Consumer app. So this is a brand new app for BMC. It's going to not just house the medical information, it's going to house several different resources available to you. So one of the biggest things you'll see is this last bullet point here. This is where employees are going to be able to complete their health risk assessment and obtain those 100 BMC contributions to their HSA. So this application that people can use, it's very mobile. It's an app that's on your phone. It's very mobile friendly. There's also a desktop version. So for those individuals that don't have a smartphone or don't have access to that, they'll still be able to complete their health risk assessment through Mobile Health Consumer. It'll just be on a computer. The health risk assessment in Anthem's website will be turned off in January. So this will be the only method for getting that $100 contribution. So this app is going to be huge. This is how employees are going to get all of the information that they need. So whether it's ID cards for their dental, vision, medical, whether it's finding a network provider, whether it's just trying to find out how much of their deductible they've reached or their HSA balances, if they need to look at their plan summaries. So this app is going to be a very big resource. So a good population here was part of a pilot program, and you know, there were a couple of things that we sent out there. For example, the 401k webinar that we did back in July. This was housed also in the mobile health consumer app. So again, there's going to be a lot of resources, and this is what we're really going to use moving forward to communicate a lot of the benefits information. As we go through the presentation, on the bottom of each slide, you'll see where mobile health consumer will be here, and it will allow you to know that this is something that will be available on the app for you to look at. It's also on all of the communication pieces, so posters, table tents, benefit guide, it's absolutely everywhere. We really want to encourage employees to get this information, download the app, and start using it as a resource. So for new employees, we will have a demo set up for them where they can, we can actually kind of guide them through what that looks like. For the purposes of this, I'm kind of going to move on. Again, some of this information is going to be a little bit more in depth than this population will need, but dependent information, we will still need marriage certificates if you're adding a spouse. We'll still need birth certificates if you're adding a child. Something that's going to be very different from the past, and I want to go into a little bit more detail, so please listen up for this part right here. So when employees go to enroll in the website, they will be able to add a dependent at that moment. So whatever dependents are in Dayforce are already going to show up in the platform. But if an employee manually adds a new employee in the platform, that person's submission will be flagged, and that dependent will be flagged. The U2X platform, the universe individuals, they will send us updated information on a semi-consistent basis, just a couple of days during the week, and say, hey, these are the people that were added manually. Please follow up with them for the supporting documentation. Once open enrollment ends and we've received all the documentation, we will send them back a list of saying these are the people that have submitted the documentation, and those pending submissions for open enrollment will be approved and move forward. Any of those that we did not get the supporting documentation for, we will have that dependent removed and the tier adjusted as if that dependent was not there. So the philosophy behind this is, in the past, you've had to wait for us to approve dependents. At this time, you won't have the enrollment held up because the dependent is not enrolled first into the platform, but we do want to make sure that the documentation is sent to us. We will be very diligent reaching out to you and making sure that we get that information, but just want to be very clear on what that is. Again, qualifying life events, they will not happen on this platform. They will continue to happen in Dayforce. Employees will be able to submit the proof of dependency directly in the Dayforce system. This information is also available in the benefits guide, just a little bit more detail in there. If employees do not want to enroll in coverage, they don't have to enroll in coverage. We encourage everyone to waive coverage through the U2X platform if they don't want coverage, and it's for a couple of different reasons. We want to make sure that employees are physically looking into the site, seeing what their options are, and declining coverage if they do not want it. This will allow us to really be compliant with ACA, with the Affordable Care Act, in the sense that we are offering you coverage and you are declining coverage. A couple of different things also. This year we are having an active type enrollment, in the sense that we want everyone to get onto the U2X platform, review their benefits, see which choice is really the right choice for them. We don't want them to miss out on an opportunity to have a better benefit or a benefit that makes more sense for them. And I think we would really be doing them a disservice if we don't encourage everyone to go onto the platform and make the enrollment. Again, they will have different resources available. This is why we have a call center. This is why some of those larger locations we are having those on-site enrollers to assist you, so that, again, we have the resources available for you to allow employees to make the decisions that are really for their benefit. So with the two plans that BMC offers for medical coverage, you will see that there are two different names now. Before, we had the former Bronze plan is now renamed the Core plan, and the Gold plan is now renamed the Buy-Up plan. So the reason we decided to change the names of the plans were for a couple of different reasons. One, we saw that employees, when they see Bronze and Gold, they automatically assume that Gold is a better plan, but that is not necessarily the case. Both plans are high deductible health plans. Both plans require the employee to pay into the deductible before the coinsurance kicks in. So those employees that are on the Buy-Up plan, which is a former Gold plan, unless you're really hitting that $1,500 deductible, you're not getting the full benefit of the plan. So if we start looking here, you'll see that the plans themselves have not changed at all. Deductible for both plans are the same, coinsurance stays the same, out-of-pocket maximum stays the same. One big difference that we have here, and it's highlighted and has a little speech bubble sticking out of it as well, just to highlight the importance of it, is that BMC knew that we realized that when we moved to a full replacement HSA, where you have this exposure in the deductible, that there were going to be some of those lower income individuals that were not going, that meeting those out-of-pocket expenses were going to be a little bit more difficult for them. So they think of catastrophic events. So with the Core plan, what we have done is that we have bundled it with a critical illness plan. And this is completely employer paid, so BMC pays this benefit, and this is a cash benefit paid directly to the employee. This cash benefit can be to pay for medical expenses, bills, travel expenses, anything while this person is not working. And this benefit is not just for the employee. This benefit will also be for the enrolled spouse and the enrolled child under the plan. So what this benefit does is that it will pay a cash benefit in case of a newly diagnosed covered illness. So you'll see a couple of examples there of what that includes. So cancer, heart attack, stroke. Again, this is no cost to the employee, and again, we decided to do this just to help offset some of those out-of-pocket costs that kind of come in conjunction with any high-cost claims for the employees. A couple of slides here that I'm going to go over briefly. Again, think about this. This is for the new hires. We'll talk about what a deductible it is, how it works with the coinsurance and out-of-pocket maximum. We'll explain what this non-embedded deductible means, where all claims accumulate towards the family deductible rather than the individual amount, and how that the out-of-pocket maximum does accumulate to that individual amount instead. So we have examples of these things, and we'll go into a lot more detail on that for the new hires during those monthly presentations. From what you can see here with the prescription drugs, very few changes with the prescription drug coverage as well. Anything that you pay in the prescription drug coverage will apply towards the deductible and the out-of-pocket maximum for both plans. After you hit the deductible, the charges are
This session is being recorded for audio issue reporting. If you don't want to be recorded, mute yourself. You may also leave the session.
okay. You'll see here that there are certain preventative drugs that are covered at 100%. So this is a drug list where they are covered at 100%. Employee does not have anything to pay, no deductible, no coinsurance. If you want a list of those medications, you can find that through CVS Caremark. They're saying they can no longer hear you. Okay, we're going to stop for a second here. If you guys can hear me, please let me know that you can hear me. I do see that some individuals are saying that they cannot hear me. So we're just going to...
Audio issue recording has finished.
Okay, I'm going to ask again. Can you guys hear me? I'm getting mixed messages of yes and no, so. All right. Okay, I hear yes. Yes, okay, perfect. All right, so I'm going to back up just a few seconds just in case there's anything that you did not hear. So the prescription plan is going to stay exactly the same. The core plan is going to have the same deductible, same out-of-pocket. The buy-it plan will have the same deductible, same out-of-pocket. The preventative drug list is going to be covered at 100%. So these are going to be certain preventative generic drug medications. You can find those medications on CVS Caremark. You can access CVS Caremark directly through the mobile health app. It'll be very easy for you. One other change that we made a few months ago, just based on your feedback, and we are very grateful for the feedback that you've provided us, is that this 90-day supply is no longer going to be mandatory. So employees do have the opportunity to get the 30-day supply. So it's a little bit less out of pocket per transaction for them. Both medical plans are coupled with an HSA. Most individuals should be eligible for the HSA if they are enrolled under a BMC medical plan. There are some exceptions to this. So there will be an affidavit that you would have to select while enrolling to say that you are or are not eligible, and they will have those details there. Just a quick reminder on what the HSA is and what you can use it for. So you're able to use it not just for medical expenses, but dental, vision, pharmacy, the telemedicine, which is Life Health Online. This money belongs to the employee, so if they leave BMC or retire, they get to keep the funds. They have the funds that can roll over from year to year, so they'll never have to miss out on, trying to use up the funds at the end of the year or anything like that. There is a little bit of an increase in the individual contribution limit for 2017. These contribution limits, these amounts include any BMC contributions that you will get into the medical plan. So a couple of different things that BMC is going to do this year is how they're going to fund your account for different opportunities that you have through the wellness incentive. So we are funding the exact same amount in the core and buy-up plan if you do not complete the wellness activities. So it's still $200 for an employee, $700 for an employee plus one person, and $1,200 for the entire family. The only difference is $300 that you can get on top of that amount will be allocated in different ways. So an employee will still receive money for completing a routine physical wellness exam. That's going to be $100. Again, employees will have the opportunity to download the Mobile Health Consumer app to complete the health risk assessment. That's a $100 contribution. And something that's going to be a little bit different is that we are going to partner with a new wellness vendor, and there will be wellness activities that you can complete through them, and you will receive 100 wellness credit dollars. So this is not an HSA contribution. I do want to make that a little bit clear right there. So that's going to be a little bit different, and the reason for that is, as we mentioned last year, we really want to tie wellness with your medical, and we want to tie it with things that you have to do so that you are more actively involved in your health. The contributions that are going to be without wellness, those will be funded into employee accounts on a monthly basis. So we will not have the 75% funding at the beginning of the year with the 25% in the summer. It's going to be on a monthly basis only. So, of course, what it all boils down to is how much is this going to cost the employees, how much is this going to cost me. So for the sake of total transparency, we've put in not only what the employee will pay, but also what BMC will pay. So you'll see here the contribution that BMC makes is a pretty substantial amount paying there for each line of coverage. So one other reason that we decided to name the plans differently is when we had the bronze and the gold plan, and there were a lot of individuals that shifted into that gold plan, and because of that, the claims data, so the analysis based on who went to the doctor and how many people went to the doctor and those high cost claims, they were a lot more extensive on that gold plan versus that bronze plan. So the bronze plan, which is now the core plan, has a small increase on their lines of coverages. The employee-only tier did not have any increase at all. We kept that the same. But you'll see a little bit more of an increase on the buy-up plan here. Then that is mainly because of when we had the plans, that claims data really pushed those numbers up there. As you'll see down here at the bottom, we're still going to have a nicotine user surcharge. This is going to be an additional $100 per month from those premiums above. The industry standard, it does allow you to charge up to 150% of the premium, so we're still way below that number. And again, we're tying this back to wellness. We want employees to be healthy. We want them to have the opportunity to quit, or that extra incentive to quit, so that they can have a healthier lifestyle. We are also still including a spousal surcharge. You'll see that this is an additional $100, so that it did increase a little bit more as well this year. The industry standard for this across the board is $150. There have been a lot of companies that have been including a spousal surcharge. The reason for this is because when we get the claims analysis, it says, this is where most of your money is going into. What we're seeing is that at least half of those individuals that are producing those high-cost claims, those are coming from spouses. So what we would like to do is have this surcharge on here and encourage spouses to at least look at other benefit options that are available to them. So this spousal surcharge is only going to be for those who have coverage offered to them elsewhere, but still choose to enroll in the BMC plan. So this is not going to affect any of those spouses that don't work, are full-time students, or a number of other eligible reasons. Just a quick reminder on Anthem Health Guide. I'm not sure if anyone's used this extensively, but we've heard a couple of good feedback on this. So this is not just a call center. Anthem Health Guide is a concierge service. This is the number on the back of the ID cards. It's a completely free service to the employees. They don't just answer the question that the employee is asking. They're going to do everything in their power to get you all of the resources that you need, whether that's, hey, let me find a urgent care facility near you and make you an appointment. Let me find a provider that's in network. So let me find you some vouchers or coupons for your prescription medication, even though they are not with CVS Caremark. So again, this is a really big resource. If employees have questions, specifically how does this cover my deductible, or I had this claim or anything like that, Anthem Health Guide is the number to call. You can always refer employees to this number. Another resource that we have that I feel is a little bit underutilized is the telemedicine. So this is where employees can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It's for acute illnesses, so allergies, colds, minor infections, things like that. Whether or not you're on a medical plan, you can use this service. So you don't have to even be on a BMC medical plan. You don't have to be on any plan. Each session is only going to be $49 for you. And for those of you that are on the medical plan through BMC, after you hit that deductible, it's only going to be $9.80. You can use those HSA dollars to pay for these fees. So telemedicine is huge. It's really the way of the future. It's where employees can use this service instead of having to leave work, instead of having to go pick up a prescription. They can have everything done within 15 minutes or so. I do want to point out that even though prescription availability is available in most states, it is not available in Texas and Arkansas. So you do have the opportunity. So if you have a child or spouse or yourself that has one of these acute symptoms, there is another number on the back of your ID card called a nurse line. So you can say, hey, I'm feeling this, that, or the other, and they will provide you a free service of saying, yes, I think you should go to the doctor. No, I think you're okay to go to a minute clinic or anything like that. Or yes, maybe that's something a little bit more urgent. Please go to an urgent care facility. So a few new benefits that we have this year are going to be voluntary benefits. So first I'm going to talk about some of those things that they have the same, and then we'll go through each new benefit and how they're different. So each benefit is a lump sum cash benefit directly to the employee. We chose the voluntary benefits in order to complement some of the other benefits that we have. It's going to help employees with any of the out-of-pocket expenses and costs that they have. They're very inexpensive. So for about the cost of a cup of coffee a month, you can have some comprehensive coverage that's going to help you with any of these large number expenses that are kind of going to help you, pay into that deductible. You're going to have this payroll deducted, and you will be able to take this coverage with you should you leave BMC. So the first benefit is going to be the critical illness insurance. We talked about this a little bit before. So again, it's a cash benefit directly to you, the employee, or your dependent. So if you elect coverage for yourself and your dependents, they can have coverage as well. So you can get increments $10,000, $15,000, $30,000. It's guaranteed issue for any newly diagnosed covered illness. So if you currently have cancer, this wouldn't particularly cover the cancer, but there are a large list of other items that it could still cover for you. If you are an employee that decides, hey, I want this core plan, which is already bundled with the critical illness, you can have these amounts on top of that $5,000 benefit. So you can increase that lump sum coverage amount. The second benefit is the accidental injury insurance. So this is, again, a cash benefit made directly to an employee for any type of services that are incurred when treating for an accident. So these are only for non-work related accidents. So if you have a child, for example, that broke their arm and they had an ambulance ride to the ER, so they'll pay you a certain dollar amount for being in the ambulance. They'll pay you a certain dollar amount for going to that emergency room. They'll pay you a certain dollar amount for any doctor visits and follow-up visits and any diagnostics that were done for that trip. If it's a bigger injury and you actually have to be admitted into the hospital, this is where the hospital care insurance is really going to kick in. So this, again, is going to be a cash benefit to you. It's going to be for any of those chronic conditions or intensive care, maternity care, those types of things. Again, this doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much you actually incur in cost. This is only going to pay the lump sum coverage that has been that you have chosen for it. So again, so these all are brand new benefits. If you have questions about that, now you can go ahead and put those in the questions box, and we'll definitely review those in the end. We'll also provide you additional information on these items. So something else that's extremely new is that BMC has partnered with Sonic Boom Wellness for all of our 2017 incentives and initiatives when it comes to wellness. And you'll see this on a lot of our communication materials, building a healthy future. So what does that mean? It's not just building a healthy, eating right and exercising. It's really about combining wellness and safety with work. It's going to increase the absenteeism. It's going to lower the workplace injuries. So if you have someone that is constantly out of work because they're always at the doctor's office, or they're just not feeling well, they're not sleeping well because they have sleep apnea, because they're overweight, or they have diabetes and have low blood sugar and those types of things. So what we're looking for is to really reduce those types of conditions through the wellness program. So that's one aspect of it. Another aspect of it, and what we were really excited about when we partnered with Sonic Boom, was just the enthusiasm and the grassroots approach that they have to wellness in general. So they have a lot of social aspects to them. So employees can compete with other departments, other locations. They can customize their own wellness goals. This is going to help them stay motivated, help their peers stay motivated, and really just have fun with this wellness journey. So we're really excited to partner with them. We'll definitely bring out more communication and more details as we get closer to January, but want to keep you in the loop that this is something that's coming, just so that you are aware, and that we can kind of move this in a good pace for you all. The rest of the presentation is going to go fairly quickly. We don't have many changes, so I'm going to again gloss over some of these things. We do have two dental plan options available for us, the HMO, the PPO. Those are staying exactly the same. The biggest thing that I always like to point out is that the dental HMO is only available in some states. So if you're looking for the dental HMO plan, it is less expensive than the dental PPO plan. But again, you want to make sure that your dental provider is in network, because it is not going to pay anything if your dental provider is out of network. So again, make sure you check that first before picking that plan. The vision plan, again, staying exactly the same for you. There's absolutely no changes there. And there's no changes at all when it comes to the 2016 premium. So they're going to stay exactly the same. Flexible spending accounts, again, those are staying the same this year. The limited purpose healthcare flexible spending account can be used for out-of-pocket dental and vision expenses only. So if you are having an HSA plan, if you're on the medical plan, you have an HSA plan, you don't necessarily need the flexible spending card to be different. The main difference is that this money is available to you up front at the beginning of the year. You can elect up to the $25.50 amount. This account does need to be elected each year. The funds don't roll over. So if you still have money in this account right now, you will need to go ahead and start using up those funds. Dependent care flexible spending account, this is for any of those individuals that has a child or another dependent that's unable to take care of themselves, that has child care cost or anything associated with that. The maximum you can put into that account is also $5,000. BMC does provide life and disability insurance. The short-term disability is at no cost to all full-time employees. It's based on your year of service. So the longer you've been here, the higher a percentage of pay is going to pay you. So for example, if you make, for easy numbers, we'll just say you make $100 a week. If you've been here 1 year, that will pay you 60% of that $100. So it would pay you $60 for that week. So this will last a maximum of 90 days. If your disability lasts longer than that and you elected the long-term disability, it would roll right into the long-term disability plan. This will pay you 60% of what you make on a monthly basis, up to $10,000. So one of the big things about this, and I think it's one of the least utilized benefits that we have, is that BMC is paying for 50% of the coverage. That's how much we believe in this insurance, and we think that employees should take a look at it to see if it's a right fit for them. It's fairly inexpensive, and you can always, as we hand out these presentations and as we go through this with new hires, you'll be able to see examples of exactly how much that's going to cost you on a monthly basis. Not very much. Another thing that you'll see here is that an EOI is waived for 2017 open enrollment. An EOI is an evidence of insurability form. As a new hire, you can elect this long-term disability benefit without having to complete an evidence of insurability. Anytime you want to elect it after being a new hire, you will have to fill out evidence of insurability. Evidence of insurability is basically like the health questions. Based on the answers on the health questions, they can either accept or deny your application for long-term disability. So for 2017, no EOI is completely waived. So if you didn't elect LTD in the past and you want to go ahead and take advantage of it now, I think this would be a good opportunity for employees to at least take a look at it, see again if it fits their needs. BMC is also providing basic life and accidental death and dismemberment insurance for all of their employees. One thing I do want to point out and remind everyone, please designate a beneficiary. Please look to see who your beneficiaries are. It's happened several times where someone elected a beneficiary 10 years ago, they got divorced, they never changed their beneficiary, they died, their new spouse doesn't get anything. So again, you want to make sure that you elect a beneficiary, you look at your beneficiary, you make sure that you have it with who you want it to be. You can also elect increments of optional life insurance for yourself, your spouse, child, and the accidental death and dismemberment insurance. So as a new hire, you can get this guaranteed issue amount up to that amount. Anytime after you are a new hire, if you want to elect coverage or if you want to increase coverage, you are again going to be required to fill out an evidence of insurability form. So I do want to, again, point that out to everyone. Another tool, resource that we have that's fairly underutilized is the Employee Assistance Program. This is a huge benefit for employees and their family members. You don't have to be enrolled in any plan with BMC. This is just a lot of resources that are free to the employees. So you can talk to a counselor 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So this can be for any type of stress, any type of counseling that you may need, whether it's, hey, I have a child that's running around with a diaper on their head, or I have an unruly teenager. You have two different things, but both that can help you cope with stress. If you're new in the area and you're looking for, a daycare, or you're looking for a health facility to go to, if you need help with preparing your will or legal advice, financial services, they have a plethora of tools and resources available to you. So if you haven't used them before, I suggest at least logging in to the behavioral.com. You can access that through the mobile health app. See if there's anything on there that would be beneficial to you. More than likely, I would say probably you could find some sort of benefit out of it. Several months ago in July, we did change from Prudential to Empower, at least on the legacy BMC side. So just want to point out again that this is through Empower Retirement. BMC does max 33% up to the first 6% that you contribute. Basically, that's going to be for every $6 you put in, BMC is going to give you $2. That's free money. So if you're one of those individuals that were auto-enrolled at this 4% mark, there's an opportunity here for you to increase that amount to 6% and really take advantage of that 33% right there. Again, that's free money to you. A couple of months ago, we also had the webinars on Empower, that transition. That information you can also find on the mobile health app. So again, if you haven't had the opportunity to look at any of the information in the app before, you can go in even today to download it and access information right away. You can also go to Empower's website. They have a variety of tools available to you to help you come up with what your retirement income goal is going to be for your retirement. We have a few other benefits. I'm just going to highlight again real quick. The pet insurance. So one of the most interesting things that I think I've heard this year is that when the recession was taking place, things that just people would not stop spending money on. Something that actually increased in spending was things for their pets, whether it was treatment for the pets, certain type of food, diet they wanted to have for the pets. So pets are no longer seen as just an animal or something that is separate from the family. They are very inclusive with the family now. You see them in Halloween costumes, you see them on Christmas cards. So this pet insurance, if you do have a pet and you're looking for a way to maybe offset any of those high cost items that may be associated with treatments for a pet in case of an accident or an illness, I suggest looking at the pet insurance through VPI. We also have personal auto and home insurance available through MetLife and Liberty Mutual. These are payroll deducted. It will be very similar to auto insurance that you have through any other provider or any other home insurance. So if you're looking for a convenient way of having these types of insurances available, you can always find more information through there. The last thing that we want to point out just as a reminder, earlier this year, most everyone received a 1095-C. So this is a form that indicates who and how long you were offered and enrolled in coverage under BMC. So if you were enrolled in coverage or you did not enroll in coverage through BMC, everyone would have received one, and it just indicates the month that you had coverage and your dependents had coverage. When you get this form each year, you have to, you're encouraged to have it so that you can prepare your taxes, but you do not actually submit this form to complete your taxes. This is for your records only. BMC does send a 1095 information to the IRS on your behalf, so you do not have to worry about that. So be on the lookout for those in the first quarter of 2017. Again, with healthcare reform, there is a penalty if you do not get minimum essential health coverage. The penalty for that, adults, a little bit less than $700 per uncovered adult, half of that per uncovered child. There is a cap limit per household. So again, if you're looking at not having coverage, just be aware that there is a tax penalty associated with that. The IRS has not released any additional penalty amount for 2017, but that does not mean that there would not be an increase. A few reminders here before we wrap up for the day and then start really looking into those questions. Again, all the benefits information will be on the BMC Employee Benefits website. This will have also the link where employees can go to enroll in coverage starting October 31st. Because of the different names that we're going to have for the medical plan, everyone will receive new medical cards and prescription cards. If employees are newly enrolling in the dental plan or the FSA or HSA, you will receive new cards for that. Again, everyone will have at least 2 places to enroll. That's going to be definitely online, or they can call. Again, here's the number and the hours of operation that they are available. Those larger locations, again, will have those on-site enrollers. So also, if someone is going through the online system to enroll that way and they get stuck, they have questions, they can always complete that through the call center, and that won't be any problems at all. I want to just remind everyone that the Mobile Health Consumer app, please download the app at your earliest convenience. We're going to continue talking about open enrollment through the app. It's going to be, again, just a resource that you're going to be able to use throughout the year and not just through open enrollment. And again, please send all proof of dependency to benefits@buildwithbmc.com. This is only for open enrollment and new hires. Any life events, anything that's happening like that, that will happen through Dayforce. The proof of dependency can be submitted on there directly. So I'm going to go ahead and pop out the questions box here and start reading through the questions. So I'm going to scroll up to the top. So if you have questions or if you need to drop off, I'm going to try to go through these as quickly as possible, but we do have a good 10 minutes left of the webinar. So hold on just a few seconds. So the first question, I see Sylvia answered it. The question was, will you need to submit proof of dependence if already enrolled? The answer is no. This is only going to be for anyone that was newly added to the benefits through the online enrollers or through the phone enrollers. Okay. Okay. We have another question that says, if I complete the health, the wellness activities mid-year and qualify for $200 in HSA wellness contributions, is the monthly employer contribution adjusted or is that given lump sum? Those amounts are always given lump sum. So you would get the $100 whenever we get the reporting that the health risk assessment is completed and the $100 contribution whenever the biometric or physical is provided. The one thing I do want to point out about those is that there's usually a 2 or 3 month delay in having that information in the account, and that's only because that information is given to us on a month lag based on when the bill is paid by Anthem. So that usually may take a month or a couple of weeks, and then by the time we get it, there may be a 2 or 3 month delay. Okay, we do have a question here. So as an individual with wellness, will I get $500 and those extra $300 are included in that? Is there going to be extra from the $500? So without wellness, the wellness itself is $300. That $300 is included in that $500. So the numbers without wellness for an individual, $200. For an employee plus a spouse or an employee plus a child, that amount is $700. And for an entire family, that's $1,200. So the maximum, including the wellness that an employee will get, is $500, $1,000, or $1,500. There's no additional money on top of that. So the 100 Sonic Boom Wellness dollars, we will provide more information on this in the future, but there are going to be certain activities that employees can do through Sonic Boom, and that is going to accumulate as wellness dollars. And then you can use those to purchase different things. And again, as we get a little bit more details, you will have more details on that as well. So we have another question here on what is actually meant by a buy-up plan, which basically means the buy-up plan, as we mentioned before, was the former gold plan, and the core plan was the former bronze plan. We think that psychologically employees, they tend to think that a gold plan is a better plan, but really it's not necessarily so. It just means that they have a lower deductible, lower deductible. So if they're paying into the deductible and they actually hit the $1,500, that's when the co-insurance kicks in. So if for that average person that's only spending $500 a year, it would look the same for them whether they're on the core plan or the buy-up plan. So we did that little bit of a change, but there is a premium differential that's a little bit more in line with what the plans mean. So I hope that helps clarify a little bit more of that question. We have a question here. It says, do you have to turn in any receipts for the new option coverages? How do they pay you? I'm assuming you're talking about the voluntary benefits, in which case when you have a claim, for example, you will have to provide them proof that you're newly diagnosed, or you have to provide them proof that you have an ambulance or a hospital. So you will have to provide them some type of proof, but what they will pay out is not based on what the receipts are. And yes, they do send a flat dollar amount based on what the coverage is. Okay, we do have a question on the 2.5-month grace period on the FSA. There are no changes to the FSA, so that grace period will stay. We have a question about the LTD. If you are already enrolled, you do not have to re-enroll. Yeah, so we're going to have a little bit, and I do see a couple of questions here on the wellness. And again, we're just introducing wellness so that when January comes around, it's still 3 months away. We're still clarifying a lot of things that we want to offer. We're still building the program. So we're offering you just a little bit of insight of who we're partnering with. There are going to be opportunities for you to know more details. We will definitely provide those as we get closer to that date, but just wanted to provide you a heads up that this is coming. So I know there's a lot of questions on the wellness, so just be on the lookout for those moving forward. So yes, any benefit changes, any life events are going to continue to be enrolled through Dayforce. The only individuals that are going to continue using the U2X platform online are going to be new hires, and that's new hires starting in 2017, and open enrollment each year. So any new hires through the end of 2016 and any life events through moving forward are still going to continue through Dayforce. The health risk assessment form is very, very quick and very easy. You can do it again right on your phone. Everyone on this call and everyone in the company is already in mobile health consumer system. So if you wanted to download the app today, you would have the opportunity to do that. You do need an email address to register, so you can make one real quick. If you don't have one, fill out the health risk assessment. We do have a guide on getting started and on different topics and different things that you can do in the app that we can send out with your entire open enrollment kit that we will be sending out shortly. It may be sent more through a link linking you back to Box because there is a lot of information. Okay. Yes, the critical illness is only with the core plan. It is only on the core plan. It is not on the buy-up plan, okay? So we want to make sure that the lower plan option is the plan that has the critical illness plan. So again, this is for those individuals that want to have a lower premium but have that peace of mind that they're going to have that coverage if they have an exposure to a critical illness. And yes, we will be sending out a copy of the presentation in addition to the recording here after this presentation is over. Again, it might be a little bit too big to send as an email, but we will send out an entire HR kit to help you prepare for open enrollment this year. Okay, those are a lot of questions, but I'm going to give you another minute or so to think if there's anything else that you all may be thinking of. No, we do have a question here. If your spouse needs to complete the health risk assessment, the answer is no. Only the employee has to complete the health risk assessment, and that's the only thing that needs to be completed there. I'm going to give another minute or so. All right, everyone, I don't see any more questions coming through. I want to say thank you again for joining us today. Please be on the lookout for a open enrollment packet that we will be having available for you electronically, and also be on the lookout for your materials. If you have not gotten them, please let me know ASAP so I can double check the address to your location. This is where the benefit guides are going to be sent, and we want to make sure that you're having all the resources that you need. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to anyone in the benefits department, and we'll be happy to answer any of your calls. Thanks again.